to this one more session of Gita on the Go. Today we will be talking about Bhagavad Gita 3.16, and today's title, as you must have read, is Risky Life. Who is living a risky life? We'll try to check that out today. Just let's do a little bit of recap. In the chapter 3, we started with Arjun's question, his inquiry, his confusion, whether giving up everything is good for me, whether giving up the war is good for me, or fighting is good for me. Avaram karm, the suspicion arises from the shloka in chapter 2, which talks about avaram karm, abominable action, Krishna says. So Arjun is confused. What is this abominable action that Krishna is talking about? And so he asks in the beginning of the 3rd chapter, yes, Krishna, tell me, should it be Jnana yoga, which means should I renounce everything? Should I take sannyas and go into the jungle? Or should I fight? Should it be Karma Yoga? So Krishna has started by answering that for people like you, Arjun, who is a Kshatriya, who is very much into the Grihastha order of life, Karma Yoga is any day better, because it's better to carry on with your work and offer the fruits of your action to me, which means don't work for fruits, don't work for phal, but offer all those fruits to me. And slowly you will get purified, and then eventually you will reach me. You will reach the highest rung or highest order of spirituality. Because if you try to renounce everything, externally you might renounce everything, but your mind will not be renounced. Your mind will still be thinking about those sense gratificatory things, things to eat, things to wear, things to enjoy. So then Krishna talked about the Karma Yoga for a few verses, and then he stepped down to Karma Kand, saying that not everyone can probably do Karma Yoga also, Arjun. If you think you can't even do Karma Yoga, then at least do Karma Kand. And what is this Karma Kand? Which means the sacrifices, the yagyas, which are mentioned in the Vedas to be done for the demigods. But then he is, Prabhupada actually is telling us time and again that when we do sacrifice unto the demigods also, it eventually is going to reach Krishna only, because worshipping the demigods is like worshipping Krishna indirectly. But a wiser person is one who worships Krishna directly. And then we talked about the yagya cycle, how we think that everything comes from our own efforts or from natural phenomena. We get rains from natural phenomena, and then we have the grains growing in the crop fields, and then we can eat them. But ever thought like this? Sometimes everything seems to be right, and yet things don't go right. People go hungry. We have so much arable land, so much land which can be cultivated. Other resources are also there, but still the food will not be produced and people will go hungry, which means there is some other factor playing a role here. And Krishna explains beautifully in the Yagya cycle that the grains come from rains. And how do the rains come? They come from Yagya. And the Yagya comes from karma, which means the prescribed actions, the correct kind of actions which are given in the Vedas. And then where have the Vedas come from? Then he explains in the last shloka, we explained and completed the Yagya cycle, that Vedas are nothing but Shabd Brahma, and the Shabd Brahma comes from Akshar Brahma, who is none other than Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Yagya cycle operates in this manner, and in this particular shloka in 3.16, this actually is the last of this section on Karma Kand, and we are going to wind up. Actually, Krishna is winding up the section on Karma Kand here, and let's see what he speaks about. But first, a little bit of a prayer, gratitude to our Gurus. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjansalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So what does slok number 3.16 say? Let us read. Evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartayati hayah aghayur indriya ramo mogham partha sajivati. Mogham Parth Sajivati. Parth, O Arjun, he lives in vain. Who lives in vain? He lives a risky life. Who lives a risky life? Let's try to understand first the translation by Srila Prabhupada and then a wonderful purport full of insights. The translation reads, My dear Arjun, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain. Such a person just simply wastes his life. What kind of a person? A person who is living only to satisfy his senses without thinking what is the means to satisfy his senses. By hook or by crook, my senses should be satisfied. By hook or by crook, my tongue should feel happy eating, whether it is a non-vegetarian food which comes by sacrificing the life of a living being, or it is, sense gratification of a different type where we don't consider the morals of the society, but just by hook or crook, we must satisfy our senses. Such kind of a person is living a really risky life and is living a life of sin. Now let's try to understand, why is he living a risky life? Let's take a simple analogy. Suppose I go to another country whose laws I am unfamiliar with. I don't know about the sales tax rules or the income tax rules or even the traffic rules of that country. And I don't even take the pains to come to know about them, which means I make no effort to understand the laws. And I think not knowing the laws is all right. I mean, if I don't know the laws, they don't affect me. You think that that's right? I'm sure you don't, because just thinking that if we don't know the laws, if we are ignorant about the laws are not going to affect us. That doesn't happen. If a child doesn't know that the fire will burn, will the fire not burn the child? You see, if I don't know the traffic rules of a country and I drive according to my whims and fancies, okay, I think driving on the left side sounds good to me, so I'll drive on the left. But maybe the laws say otherwise. I may cause accidents, I may cause harm to others and obviously to myself, and I will be punished by the laws of that country. And what is sin? You see, if I disobey the laws of a country, then I am committing a crime and I will be punished for that. Similarly, when I disobey the laws of nature or the laws of God, laws of nature are nothing but the laws of God, because nature is being controlled by God. As Krishna is going to tell us very soon in this chapter, Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam, which means this material nature is working under my direction. So, if we disobey the laws of God, that is what is called sin. So, just as the country, the state punishes us for committing a crime, similarly, the laws of God punish us for committing a sin. Well, this might not be immediate, and therefore we might like to live in ignorance. Oh, ignorance is bliss. If I don't know the laws, no punishment for me. But that doesn't happen. The punishment will come eventually. If not now, then later. How many times have we wondered if we have ever faced situations like this? God forbid, that we are very anxious in our life due to something. We are suffering because of something. How many times have we heard people say, I have never done any harm to anyone, then why am I suffering so much? Why so much suffering to me? My dear, let's think of it this way. Even though I can't go back in time, I can't do time travel and travel back to my previous lives, but if I could, I would find that there was something that I did for which I am being punished now. So, how this operates is beyond our understanding. But one thing is sure, that it does operate. The laws of nature are unfailing. The laws of the state may fail, and the police might fail to catch the criminal. But the laws of God and laws of nature never fail. That's for sure. So, Srila Prabhupada says that this mammonist philosophy means, hard pursuit of wealth, which means just running after riches, running after opulence, money, wealth, fame. So this philosophy of the modern day world, the Western philosophy, as everyone, even in the East is trying to just, mimic that work hard, party harder. For 5 days work hard like hell, but the next 2 days, the weekend, party through the night. So this philosophy of work hard and party harder is not going to take us anywhere. Srila Prabhupada says it's being condemned herein by the Lord, because such a philosophy actually endorses that we are just working hard to get money to do what? To satisfy our own senses. The money can be gotten by any kind of means. They can be good means, they can be bad means. We can steal the money, we can cheat somebody out of money, we can gamble, do anything. Just get the money and just enjoy yourself. That is the philosophy Krishna is condemning in this shloka, and he's saying this is a very risky life. Be sure that very soon the police department of Krishna is going to catch up. And who is the police department of Krishna? Durga Devi. She's going to catch up very soon, and who knows what happens next. Definitely is going to be punishment. So Krishna is telling us that the cycle of performing yajna is absolutely necessary. Now we might say, okay, this yajna cycle, it might be operating for someone. It doesn't operate. I don't think it applies to me. I've never seen anyone do it. Or, what if I don't do it? It's all right. But it's not all right, because as we talked about this, that if we don't study the laws of the state or the laws of a country, doesn't mean that we will be beyond punishment. The punishment is going to come, definitely, today or tomorrow, now or after, it is going to come. So Krishna says it's necessary to do this, the yajnas, to follow the rules and regulations, to study what is written in the Shastras, how to do these yajnas. And of course, we can perform the yajnas for the demigods. You can, as also Srila Prabhupada is telling us, that this human life is actually meant for self-realization, and the system of yajna is also a step towards that. So when we perform the yagyas, even if it is for the demigods, eventually we get purified and we move one step higher in self-realization, in spiritual advancement. So be it sacrifices to the demigods, or be it self-realization by karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, or bhakti yoga, humans have to make use of the purpose of human life. We have to actually understand the purpose of human life. It's not given to us for just enjoying our senses. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, well, Srila Prabhupada is then, in purport, he's explaining that although this might sound very intimidating, because there are so many demigods that you would need to please. Some demigod you need to please for giving you rain, some to give you clean air, which is very hard to get, by the way, these days, with the AQI shooting up to 400 and something here about in Delhi. But you see, whether it is air or water, or the food resources, the earthly mining resources, any kind of resources we're talking about, we will have to please different kinds of demigods. But you see, yagya can be done to the demigods, but ultimate yagyeshwar is Krishna. So ultimately it has to go to Krishna. So we talked about this in the last section, that we can perform the yagya directly to Krishna also. But in fact, in Kali Yuga, that's the most practical way. Rather than trying to learn what are the different kinds of yagyas that I need to do for Varun Dev, for Agni Dev, for Surya Dev, for Indra Dev, 33 crore Devis and Devatas. Better is that I perform the Sankirtan Yagya for Krishna. As simple as that. Just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just keep chanting that, and that will take care of all the yagyas you need to perform in Kali Yuga. That's the most simple way. So Srila Prabhupada is further elaborating that these transcendentalists who are above vice and virtues, that means the people who are devotees, they don't need to rigidly follow the rules and regulations of the yagyas. Just performing Sankirtan Yagya is enough. And however, those people who are not devotees, who are not worshipping Krishna, who are not doing the Sankirtan Yagya of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they will then need to fulfill each and every ritual of the Yagya cycle, which, believe it or not, I haven't really gone into the details of it, but as I know it from others, it is a very, very time consuming, very rigorous method to worship the demigods through yagyas. It's far simpler to please Krishna directly by just chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It's actually a good deal, you see. It's actually such a good deal. You don't need to get any resources. You don't need to light fires in the Havan Kund. You don't need to chant difficult mantras and give ahutis in the fire. You just simply need to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra day in and day out. Sit down and chant, work and chant, walk and chant, sleep and chant. Not really after you've gone to sleep. Maybe you can do that someday, but while you're going to sleep, you can chant. When you're getting up, you can chant. So just keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That takes care of all the formalities with the demigods perfectly. See, so Srila Prabhupada is saying that the prosperity of the world depends not on our own efforts, but on the background arrangements of the Supreme Lord, directly carried out by the demigods. So demigods, as we see, are the agents of Krishna, and indirectly demigods, yagyas are also Krishna consciousness only. So Srila Prabhupada says, either we are Krishna conscious or we are conscious of the sense gratifications, which means we are kind of always trying to satisfy our senses. So some consciousness we have to develop. Either we are sensory conscious, which means we're always conscious of our senses, wanting this and wanting that, or we are Krishna conscious. So we can be indirectly Krishna conscious by demigod worship, or we can be directly Krishna conscious by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Srila Prabhupada actually sums up by saying that if by performing, actually, Srila Prabhupada is explaining towards the end that actually these yagyas are also to develop Krishna consciousness, to kind of induce Krishna. Actually, let's use the word develop, because it's already there. We are all Krishna conscious entities, basically speaking. It's only that consciousness is sleeping right now. So to revive that consciousness, the yagya cycle has been given by Krishna to do it. Even if you want to do that sensory gratification, do it by a lawful method, so that the lawful method purifies you and eventually you can become Krishna conscious. So the yagyas, the karmkand, the rituals that have been given in our texts, scriptural texts, are actually so that we can revive Krishna consciousness, and to that purpose they must be used. But if we are performing all the rituals but not becoming Krishna conscious, then it's a waste of time. All this karmkand, all these rituals are a waste of time if we don't develop love for Krishna eventually. So we are just becoming ritual conscious, not Krishna conscious. So the purpose of all this is to become Krishna conscious. So such a beautiful purport in which Krishna is telling us that living according to laws given to us is eventually going to make us good citizens of this material world. And if we become good citizens of this material world, eventually we will be promoted to move onward into the spiritual world. But this process definitely begins at the level of karmkand, where we do some kind of sacrifice for the demigods, but later on we get promoted to higher levels of consciousness so that we can escape from this material world. And in the Kali Yuga, the process is really simple. Although Krishna is giving us the knowledge of the yagyas and everything, that there are yagyas we must do for getting rains, for getting grains, but for Kali Yuga, this process is really simple, as Krishna is going to tell eventually in Bhagavad Gita also, and all the other scriptural texts like Bhagavatam, all these also proclaim that in Kali Yuga, the best thing is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra continuously under your breath. You can keep doing that all the time. Actually, it doesn't take any effort. Even if you're cooking, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If you're just conscious of the mantra playing, even in the background, initially you can just keep playing the mantra in the background of whatever you're doing, and eventually we learn to sit for some time and consciously chant the mantra. That brings even greater merit, even greater benefit. And that is the beautiful system of yagya that Krishna has given us. So I hope you're convinced about this, that the simplest and the most effective method for the Kali Yuga is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and don't even think about not doing anything. You see, I don't need to do these yagyas, I don't need to do that, I'm perfectly good, I'm enjoying my life. Who knows what's there to come, because every action has a reaction, now, instantly, or later.